Hello and welcome to Mecha Anime Reviews, and today we're gonna take a look at Dragon's Heaven. Dragon's Heaven is a one-episode OVA released in 1988, done by AIC and directed by Kobayashi Makoto, the mecha designer for Zeta Gundam, although the actual mechanical and character designs were done by Toshihiro Hirano, with Shinja Ohira being the key animator for the OVA. Not much is known about it other than it was based on the manga of the same name, also done by our dear Mr. Makoto. It's a relatively obscure OVA. Heck, the only reason I found out it existed was because G-Shadow007 did his own review of it. I highly recommend him, by the way, he's awesome. Time to see what it's all about. What's the story? In the year 3195, a war was waged between a rebellion of robots and their human creators. We get a live-action segment early on, and later we discover the two mechs duking it out in it are Cheyenne and Le Medan, two sentient combat armors that are each other's nemesis. Cheyenne usually works better with a human companion, which he used to have until he got shot in battle, causing Cheyenne's systems to shut down for 1,000 years. After a long sleep, Cheyenne detected a new human, a girl named Ikuru, and they both team up to take down El Medan, who is still alive after all these years working for the Brazilian Empire, and rid the world of his evil once and for all. The animation is pretty good. Unlike Diatron 5, this OVA has an actual budget, which gives it room for animation that actually flows well and looks nice. There's a very used future aesthetic to this setting, where everything looks worn out and dirty. This extends to even the mecha designs, which have a more organic yet roughed up look to them. Heck, one review I read even comparing it to some kind of junkyard, which I think fits this OVA well. This sort of post-apocalyptic junkyard. The music is solid, action-packed, with a few memorable tracks. There's only 4 voice actors in this: Daisuke Guri as Orionis, Imasa Kayumi as Cheyenne, Kei Tomiyama as El Medan, and Yuko Minaguchi as Ikuru, and each do fairly well in their performances. Not the best, but enough for this OVA. First, the good stuff. Because it's all in one episode, the plot is relatively straightforward, which is a good thing since we end up with a fast-paced story that avoids getting bogged down and we only get exposition when necessary. I like the back and forth between Cheyenne and Iruku. Their interactions and slowly budding friendship is kind of nice and developed decently. We don't learn too much about the world, but the little backstory we do get is interesting, and the world is visually amazing as well. It's a shame this was only one episode because I would have been okay with exploring more of this stuff in a longer series, which kinda leads me to the downsides. The bad guys aren't very interesting, being your basic generic baddies who are super evil, yo. The mecha battles are decent, but not particularly great. Most likely due to the short running time, they end too fast and aren't as badass as they could have been, nor was there enough time to show proper development for Ikuru or Cheyenne or any of the other supporting characters. I know it was only one episode and I can't be too harsh on it, but it does feel a bit unsatisfying. Overall, Dragon's Heaven is okay. Its visuals are awesome and the story serves its purpose, but because it's all one episode, everything is kind of bare bones and some concepts don't get explored as much as they should have. Like I said before, I wouldn't mind seeing a series like this. It has a lot of potential. But for what we got, this is fine too. Oh well, see you next time on the next Mecha Anime Reviews.